Okay, PFL number 2 back in Las Vegas at the Virgin Hotel. In the main event this weekend, we have got in the women's featherweight division, Julia Budd taking on the reigning women's lightweight champion in Larissa Pacheco. And in the heavyweight division, no longer is the reigning champion Ante Dulia on this card. Instead, your heavyweight main event, or in the co-main event officially, Bruno Cappelozza taking on Matheus Scheffel, and Yorgande Castro now slides into a matchup with Dennis Goltsov. So we got the heavyweights and the women's featherweights coming up this Friday. 11 fights on this card. And folks, if you haven't yet though, make sure to hit that subscribe button down below for some more MMA here on the channel. Yesterday we posted our UFC 287 Ferreira versus Adesanya 2 predictions. Let's go check out that video as well if you haven't yet. All right, we're back with the PFL and their low-level women's fighting. We're starting here with Marina Mokhnatkina taking on Yoko Higashi. For Yoko Higashi, she's 8-2 professionally. She has picked up some decent wins over in Asia. She's been fighting in the promotion Deep over in Japan. Her last one was a ground and pound victory over a fighter who was 0-1. She fights at bantamweight some, but also at featherweight as well. She's 37 years old, at 5'5". This will be her first fight, I do believe, in America, fighting a lot in Pancrase. She went 5-2 in that promotion. She'll now be taking on Marina Mokhnatkina in this fight. For Mokhnatkina, fought in the PFL last season. She did go 2-1. She went 1-1. She won 2021 PFL, but she did go 1-1 last season. Wasn't horrible for her, honestly. She loses the fight where she goes all 3 rounds with Kayla Harrison. Then she has a fight where she barely does beat Abby Montez by split decision. She comes back in between PFL seasons. She fights over in Russia in a Russian cage fighting championship. She wins a fight by Americana in the 3rd round over there. Had a fight in Bellator back in 2019, lose to Janae Harding by unanimous decision. Came back with Bellator, beat Amanda Bell by unanimous decision as well. I think Mokhnatkina wins this fight. I think she's so much better on the ground in this one. I don't really know much, honestly, about Yoko in this one, but I think Mokhnatkina's got the experience in the States. I think she'll be able to take down Yoko in this fight. I think she should be able to ride this one out to a decision. Again, not confident at all, but give me Marina Mokhnatkina to win this fight by unanimous decision. Back in the featherweight division, we have got Karolina Sobek taking on Evelyn Martins. Martins. I mean, I feel like the PFL, again, they did this with this card because they put their worst fighters on this card rather than the first and the third, because the first and the third cards aren't honestly all that bad. I mean, I know the last PFL card really did not deliver. It was not that great. I mean, Brendan Loughnane winning the main event, but at least you got name value, right? You got Brendan Loughnane, Marlon Moraes, you got Thiago Santos, Rob Wilkinson. The third one, they've got some good fights. They got Sada Boussi, they've got Al-Sawali, they've got Olivier Aben-Mercier and Shane Burgos, they got Hush Manfio, Alex Martinez, Stevie Ray, Natan Schultz, Magomed Karamov. They've got some good fighters in that card. This card just honestly feels pretty bad, I'll be honest with you. But our second fight will be Evelyn Martins taking on Karolina Sobek. I'm going to be taking Sobek to win this one by 2nd round submission. 2 fighters who want to win fights in the ground. That's where you're going to see this fight take place a lot. But for Sobek, I really feel like she's a better grappler. She's only 23 years old. She's a wrestler who can grapple as well. She beat Martine Jindrova back in 2021, and Jindrova is a fighter who fought in the 2022 season for the PFL, and Sobek went in there and beat her in the 1st round by neck crank. And again, Jindrova is a fighter who made it all the way to the PFL playoffs last season. So I think Sobek's honestly pretty solid. I think for this division, I think she's going to be one of the better fighters they do have. And I think, again, I think Sobek's probably going to make a run to the playoffs. For Evelyn Martins, she's a fighter who won twice in the PFL Challenger Series in 2023, winning her first one by Renee Kachok in the 2nd round, winning the next one by unanimous decision. Again, solid ground fighter. She really is. But again, I think Sobek is just a little bit better down there. And I think, again, I got Karolina Sobek to win this one by 2nd round submission. Again, I just think she's a better wrestler. I think she's a better grappler. Again, both these 2 fighters are very young. You got Martins at 20, Sobek is 23, but give me Sobek to win this one and by 2nd round sub. Now in the heavyweight division, we've got Michal Andryszak taking on Patrick Brady. I've got Michal to win this one by 1st round knockout. Patrick Brady's 39 years old. He's only 5-0. This guy is coming from last fight was an Art of War cage fighting where he wins by split decision. Brady is generally a ground fighter. He's going to try to get you down. He's going to try to submit you. His first 2 wins, or his second 2 wins in Art of War cage fighting, won by submission. I think that's where he's going to have his best chance of winning this fight against Michal, because Michal is a guy who's going to go out there and he's going to try to knock you out, even though he does have some submission wins in the past as well. But again, Michal is a hard hitter who's going to throw big shots. He's only 30 years old. Does have a fight against former UFC fighter Darko Stosic. He lost that fight to Stosic by split decision back at KSW 63. Again, Michal has fought some good fighters. He fought Phil DeFries back in 2018 for the KSW Heavyweight Championship. He's fought good fighters over there in KSW, and I think that's why he's going to win this fight. He's got way more experience than Patrick Brady. He's dealt with guys who are going to try to take him down in the past. He's dealt with those guys. he can probably keep this fight on the feet if he needs to, or win. He's going to need to win this fight on the feet, and I think he's going to win this fight by first round knockout. I don't think Patrick Brady's going to be really able to contend with him much in the feet. Again, Brady's a jiu-jitsu guy. Michal should be able to keep this fight standing. He should be able to win. So give me Michal Andryszak to go there, to go into the PFL, win his first fight and get 6 points in the PFL standings. Give me him with a quick 6 first round knockout. Honestly, just a really tough fight for Maurice Greene here. I mean, he's getting Marcelo Nunes. It's a tough fight. Nunes is really good on the ground. I mean, you've seen what he's been able to do in the PFL so far, what he's able to do in TFFC in his only fight over there, his couple fights over there. I mean, you look at his PFL Challenger Series win over Bavon Lewis, a former UFC fighter. He goes in there and he submits him in the second round by arm triangle choke. Comes back with PFL playoff card in the 7th episode of their series last year. Comes in there, arm triangle choke against Dylan Potter in the first round, securing a spot in the season this year. He gets a former UFC fighter in Maurice Greene, a guy who does hold a record of 10 wins and 7 losses. I mean, he did go, 4-4 in the UFC. He is 0-1 so far in the PFL, losing to Dennis Goltsov in his only fight so far with the PFL. I mean, this is a guy that lost to Greg Hardy, lost to Marcos Rodrigo de Lima. Got submitted by Alexei Oleinik on a Conor McGregor main card of a pay-per-view, got knocked out by Sergey Pavlovich, and he does have some wins in his own right, beating Jan Vellante, submitted Danielle Williams in CES in his only fight outside of a major promotion. Maurice Greene's not horrible. I mean, I think he's a decent add, honestly, to the PFL season this year. But what's really going to happen here? Marcelo Nunes is going to win. He's going to take him down. He's going to submit him right away. I don't really see much going for Greene in this one, even stand-up wise. Maurice Greene's not the type of guy that's just going to knock you out with one punch. This is not how he fights. He's been knocked out multiple times in his career in the past as well. I do think he is a little bit better than Nunes striking wise, but obviously on the ground, this is just a mismatch. Nunes is really good. And honest to God, Maurice Greene is not a horrible grappler. He's gone there and he's gotten submission wins in the past as well, given like it's against Jan Vellante where it's a modified arm triangle from the bottom. It's horrible. But he has shown that he is able to do such things. But in this fight, Nunes is just going to be so much more advanced. He's going to be so much better. He's so much more skilled. Marcelo Nunes all day long in this one. He's going to go in there. He's going to run right through Maurice Greene. Give me Marcelo Nunes to win this fight, getting a quick 6 with a first round submission victory over Maurice Greene. Okay, back in the featherweight division, we have got Martina Jindrova taking on Amber Leibrock. Okay, I don't really know what to say about this fight because Jindrova, she did go 2-1 in the PFL last season. She beats Vanessa Melo in her first fight by unanimous decision. She beats Jamagul Falizinova, or the hell that fighter's name was, by first round knockout. Jamagul was horrible. And then she loses to Kayla Harrison like she's supposed to. But now she gets Amber Leibrock here, and for Leibrock, she's a fighter that fought in Bellator back in 2019. She went 1-3 with them. Lose to Arlene Blenko. She gets slammed and finished. She loses by knockout to Amanda Bell. And then Jessica Borga finishes her by armbar in the first round as well. So she goes into Bellator. She gets finished all 3 times. But she did have a win before those 3 losses. She beats Janae Harding by unanimous decision. Fought Invicta before that. She has a win over AEW's own Marina Shafir. She lost to Megan Anderson, beat Amy Coleman, came back to Invicta just most recently after winning 2 fights in Gladiator Challenge after losing 3 in Bellator. It's just a weird career for Amber Leibrock. I think Jindrova is slightly better. I think Jindrova's Muay Thai is going to be slightly better in this fight. I think you're going to see a striking affair here. Neither of these fighters really specialize in ground games. And I think you're just going to see a striking fight. Again, this fight will not be anything special. Let's just keep it what it is. But I think Jindrova is just slightly better. I think Jindrova is going to go in there. She'll win by unanimous decision. I like what I saw, honestly, in the Vanessa Mella fight compared to what I've seen out of Leibrock so far. And yeah, I'm going to take Martina Jindrova to win this fight by unanimous decision so far. In the PFL featherweight division, we've got Jindrova with 3 points. We've got Mokhnatkina with 3 points, and then we've got our Polish fighter, of course, in Sobek with 5 points. So yeah, give me Jindrova though by decision. Okay, let's make this one really quick. Bajio Ali Walsh is back, of course, the grandson of Muhammad Ali. He's fighting Isaiah Figueroa in this one. It's an amateur fight, so I really don't have much to say here. Ali Walsh is going to win by first round knockout, I think. I mean, you look at his one fight in the PFL so far against Tom Grosser. He wins by right cross in the first round. This is on the PFL championship card. Ali Walsh should win this fight pretty simply. I mean, he's still an amateur again. I think he's 20-something. I'm not sure. But, I mean, the PFL, they want to build this guy up very slowly. He's one of their stars that they're trying to make a star, I guess. He's fighting a guy who's 1-1. He maybe has 3 fights, but it's not reported. I don't know, in Rage in the Cage 2, in Phoenix, Arizona. Again, amateur MMA fights, who knows? But his first fight that's listed, he lost by third round knockout, did Figueroa, and then he beats Jamie Jimenez by third round knockout in his second fight. Fought 3 times apparently in 2022, fighting now in 2023. I got Baji Ali, Walsh twins win this fight by first round knockout. Again, nothing special. They're trying to get him in here, and they're trying to give him a win. Baji Ali, Walsh wins by first round knockout. In the women's featherweight division, we have got Kolesnyk taking on Aspen Ladd. Surprised, honestly, Kolesnyk still in the PFL. Not because of her season last year. I thought she had a pretty good season, but just because, like, her 2021 was so bad. She loses 2 fights. Loses to the eventual runner-up, honestly, though, in Taylor Gordano by unanimous decision. I don't know what happened to Gordano after she fought Kayla Harrison. She didn't get the call back to the PFL, I don't think. I don't know. Oh, she was supposed to fight... I don't know. She was supposed to fight a fighter who got signed to the Challenger Series. I don't know what is going on. I don't know why they didn't bring Gordano back, honestly, because she won 3 fights in her first PFL season. Anyways, Kolesnyk loses to Gordano and Pacheco in back-to-back fights, comes back in 2022, beats Abby Montez, beats Vanessa Mello, gets a shot in the playoffs, and of course loses to Larissa Pacheco in the first round. She gets knocked out in the first. Again, Kolesnyk's a fighter who's 7-5. She was 5-0 at one point, but dropped 4 straight fights to Pam Sorensen and Invicta. She lost to Felicia Spencer and Invicta, Gordano and Pacheco. She's fighting Aspen Ladd here. Aspen Ladd should win. This should be pretty simple. It's just a matter of, can Aspen Ladd make 145 pounds? She should. She did that in her last fight where she barely beat Julia Budd, and honestly a snoozer. She beats Budd by split decision. It was nothing special, but you know what the PFL is doing this season. They want Aspen Ladd versus Larissa Pacheco in the final. That's the fight that they're kind of aiming for here. And this is just a fight that's going to help us get us there. Aspen Ladd by decision. They are going to work Aspen Ladd to the championship fight. Really, like they're gonna build her up. She is probably going to fight Marina Mokhnatkina. No, she's gonna fight Higashi in her next fight. That's probably who she's gonna fight. She will fight the loser of the first fight in this card in the next one. They are trying to get Aspen Ladd to the final. That's kind of in a similar sense what they kind of did with Kayla Harrison, but not really. They tried to give Kayla Harrison Julia Budd. They are going to give Aspen Ladd the easiest fight possible next. Kolesnyk is one of those easy fights, similar. I mean, she's better than Mokhnatkina and then Yuko, but still, Aspen Ladd should be able to go in here. She should be able to take down Kolesnyk and hold her down. I could definitely see a finish late in the fight, but I'll go safe pick. I'm going to take Aspen Ladd by unanimous decision. Again, nothing special. She should just be able to go in here and run right through Kolesnyk and move on to her second fight in the regular season. And you might have your winner of the PFL heavyweight division right here. I mean, Rizvan Kuniev's good. Kuniev is really good. He is the Eagle FC champion, heavyweight champion. I don't even know if Eagle FC is still a thing. Aren't they folding? Like, I don't know what's up with Eagle FC. They have not held a card since December, and they have not been in the United States since when Junior Dos Santos fought Yorgan de Castro, who we're going to talk about in a few moments here, in May? Like, I don't think that Eagle's coming back. I don't know what's honestly happening with them. It's Habib's promotion, obviously, but they haven't done much with it recently. But Kuniev's good. This guy is a good fighter. I mean, he was the Eagle FC champion when he came into the Contender Series. He won by TKO in the third round. He did not get offered the contract, so Kuniev comes back to Eagle FC. He defends his championship in his last fight against Anthony Freight Train Hamilton. What a fight. I mean, he catches him with a spinning wheel kick. Hamilton tries to kind of clinch with them, but then Kuniev just locks up a guillotine and he, submits Freight Train Hamilton pretty easily. I mean, it was, Freight Train Hamilton still got the single in, and Kuniev standing submits him with a guillotine choke. He's good. He's going to be taking on Hernan Ferreira here, and Ferreira is an interesting fighter for the PFL. He's been around for a little bit, started in 2021 when he fought Fabricio Verdum, who Verdum no longer fights for the PFL as well. I mean, the PFL, again, cannot get a UFC guy to win a fight for the life of them. I mean, my goodness. But then he's got the fight where he wins the second fight in the PFL, makes it to the playoffs. No, does not make the playoffs. He fights in the playoff card against Stuart Austin, wins, comes back for 2022, beats Jamel Jones, has a no contest against Kilson Abreu, comes back for the playoffs, loses to Ante Dilia, and now he's back for this new season. Hernan Ferreira isn't bad. He's got decent striking, but Kuniev's better. 100%. I think Kuniev's better. Kuniev's got way more power. Ferreira will have the advantage in terms of reach. Obviously, the guy's 6'8". He's a huge fighter. Kuniev is 6'4", but I mean, a 9-inch reach advantage will go to Hernan Ferreira in this fight. So Ferreira should be able to use his kicks really effectively here. He should be able to keep distance a lot with Kuniev. But again, at the end of the day, Kuniev's got way more power. He should be able to close the distance. This guy is huge. He's hard to hit, or he's hard to stun. He's got a good chin. Kuniev, again, has really impressed me. He's the Eagle FC heavyweight champion coming over to the PFL. I definitely think there's a very good chance he can come into this promotion and win 2 titles. Of course, being the Eagle FC champion and winning the PFL championship. Big fan of the guy. I think he's going to come in here. First round TKO finish for Kuniev. I think he makes real easy work of Hernan Ferreira. Okay, making our way through the heavyweight division. So far with points at least, we have got A tie in first place between Michal and, of course, Kuniev. And then we've actually, no, three-way tie because we got Marcelo Nunes as well at the first round knockout. So again, PFL heavyweight standings, you're going to see a lot of points in the board. Our next fight will be Dennis Goltsov taking on Yorgan De Castro. Got Dennis Goltsov to win this fight. Yorgan De Castro is coming off a victory over Junior Dos Santos. Now, the fight was not very good. It was on an Eagle FC main event. He beats JDS, though it's a shoulder injury to Dos Santos in the third round that ends the fight. Yorgan De Castro was originally booked against Ante Delia. Fight isn't happen. Of course, Delia has to withdraw from the fight, so now we get Goltsov in this one instead. For Yorgan De Castro, this is a guy that I was once quoted on saying that this guy was going to be a really good fighter in the UFC. I thought he was going to beat Greg Hardy at UFC 249 because I was kind of high on him after his win against Justin Tafa. Because if you look at the guy, I mean, he had a pretty good run before the UFC, wins in CES a couple times, beats Alton Meeks on the Contender Series, beats Justin Tafa in Australia, and then he loses to Greg Hardy, loses to Carlos Felipe, and then gets knocked out by Jarvis Danho in 2021. Speaking of Jarvis Danho, where has that guy been since knocking out Yorgan De Castro? I have zero clue. Where Yorgan comes back, he beats Danielle Williams, he beats Sean Asher, and he beats JDS. He goes 2-0 in Eagle FC, and now he's here for the PFL. But, Dennis Goltsov's a tough fight for him. Goltsov's going to go in here. He's going to either wrestle. He's probably going to wrestle him, I think. And I think you're going to see a ground and pound victory in the second round for Goltsov here. I don't think Yorgan can be able to stay on his feet throughout the entirety of this one. I really don't think it's going to happen. I think Goltsov's really just going to run right through him. I think in the first round, Goltsov is going to just ground him for the most part. In the second one, it's going to be it's going to be a mauling on the ground. Dennis Goltsov is going to drop big bombs, and he's going to win this fight. I mean, again, it's Dennis Goltsov's fourth PFL season. He has yet to win the World Championship with the PFL. He's lost to Ali Isaev. He's lost to Ante Delia before. Here you go. He didn't get the shot in the playoffs last season because he could not get over to London, I believe. He has visa issues for Goltsov. Couldn't get to the playoffs. He's back. He's getting Yorgan De Castro. I think he's going to win this one by second round TKO with ground and pound. Okay, back in the heavyweight division, we have got the rematch between Bruno Cappelozza and Matus Scheffel here. It was the fight that gave Scheffel the shot in the playoffs last season. It's what happened. He loses to Delia in his first fight last year. He comes back, beats Bruno Cappelozza in the main event by unanimous decision. A huge upset victory. I was at a Fresno Grizzlies single-A baseball game while I was watching this fight. There you go. Scheffel gets in the playoffs. He beats Juan Adams in the first round of the playoffs, and then he loses Ante Delia, of course, does not win the championship, but now you get the rematch because Bruno Cappelozza was a guy who the PFL was booking as their next star. He was 5-0. He goes undefeated in 2021. He beats Ante Delia. He beats Mo Darice. He beats Jamel Jones. He beats Ante Delia again. He goes in the 2022 season, beats Stuart Austin in the first fight, loses to Matus Scheffel, but still gets into the playoffs. Does not get booked against Dennis Goltsov because he gets injured. If he stayed in that fight, he would have ended up fighting. He would have got Juan Adams, I think. No, he would have. Yeah, no. I don't know who he would have got because it would have been him and Scheffel still in there. I don't know because the PFL heavyweight playoffs got so scrambled last year. But Cappelozza now gets Matus Scheffel in the rematch. I think Bruno Cappelozza was overlooking him a little bit in the first fight. I'll be honest with you. I think he was. Because Cappelozza was already guaranteed a spot in the playoffs with the win, or even win or loss. It was just he was fighting not to get knocked out. I think this fight he's going to have to go for it. This is his playoff hopes, and this is his shot at $1 million and the chance to get the world championship back again. This is his shot to get it back. I think Cappelozza is going to go in there. I think he's going to run right through Matus Scheffel. Matus Scheffel's not very good, guys. He just kind of caught fire a little bit. He was like the Delon Monte of the heavyweight division. His run before the UFC was pretty bad. Loses in the Contender Series to Murzakanov. This is going to be all Bruno Cappelozza. Cappelozza is going to hit him with a combo, and he's going to set him down in the first round. Bruno Cappelozza is going to show why he was the 2021 PFL World Champion, and he's going to do it again. First round knockout victory over Matus Scheffel. Main event time. The PFL tried to do this last season. Larissa Pacheco is their new Kayla Harrison. Kayla Harrison is not fighting this season. Larissa Pacheco is their new Kayla Harrison. It is that simple. That's a thing. That's what they're doing here, right? Because Julia Budd last year was brought in to fight Kayla Harrison and lose to Kayla Harrison, but initially was supposed to be in the championship fight. But she loses to Jenna Fabian in her first fight. However, she still gets 3 points because Jenna Fabian missed weight, so she automatically gets the win. Okay, she gets Kayla Harrison in the second fight, or her second regular season fight. She doesn't make it to the fight, so it was like Caitlin Young fights Kayla Harrison wins. But that's what they're trying to do. They put that in the main event. Julia Budd's now inserted into a main event against Larissa Pacheco. Pacheco's going to knock her out in the first round. Julia Budd is a shadow of her former past. She is not the same fighter she used to be when she was the Bellator champion. Let's be honest, the Bellator featherweight division has never been great, but it was better when Chris Cyborg was the champ, and Julia Budd is reigning over a division that honestly was not all that great. Cyborg beats her, finishes her in the 4th round. It's not going to take Larissa Pacheco 4 rounds to beat Julia Budd. It's going to take 1. Larissa Pacheco is going to finish her in the 1st round. It's not going to be all that competitive. I mean, let's just be honest with ourselves. That's how it's going to go. Julia Budd is slower at this point. I mean, she loses a very boring fight to Aspen Ladd by split decision, but Larissa Pacheco, again, has only lost 2 fights in the PFL. She's 8-2. Her 2 losses in the PFL are Kayla Harrison. You got to realize, Larissa Pacheco is 28 years old. If she keeps fighting for the PFL, she's going to put together millions of dollars by continuously winning the PFL every single season. There's no one in this division that can really touch her. I think her power is just so much better than everybody else. This is going to be a 1st-round knockout victory over Julia Budd. That's what this fight is going to be. Pacheco's got so much more power than anybody else you're going to see in this featherweight division. Julia Budd might make a playoff run because honestly, in this featherweight division, there's not many fighters that are all that great. So Pacheco, might see Budd again. I think the playoffs you'll likely see Pacheco. I think you'll see Pacheco, maybe Budd. I think you'll see Aspen Ladd, and then I think probably you're going to see Karolina Sobek just because I think of her 1st-round submission victory. I think you'll see her in the playoffs as well. So I think you'll probably see 1st-round Pacheco, Budd, Ladd, Sobek. I think that's what you see in the playoffs, honestly. Or I think you see Jindrova versus Budd. The winner of that fight gets in the playoffs. I think that's likely what you see. So the winner of Jindrova, Budd, will probably fight Pacheco, as I probably think. And then I think you see the 3 CB Aspen Ladd, the 2 CB Karolina Sobek. I think that's kind of what I got going here. But again, there's no one that's going to touch Larissa Pacheco, maybe Aspen Ladd, but again, I think it's just all Larissa Pacheco all season long. So give me Pacheco, the reigning lightweight champion, to win her 1st fight in the featherweight division. We'll see though. We'll see if she can make weight. That's going to be something that's going to be really huge. We'll see if Larissa Pacheco is affected by the weight cut because you saw it in the 2021 playoffs. She could not fight in the playoffs because she could not make weight. That is something that's going to be really telling. And now is at 155. You get her down at 145. She was not able to fight Taylor Gordano in 2021 because she missed weight at 155. We'll see if she can make weight at 145 and if that affects her at all. Even if it does, though, the way she has to win the fight, even if the weight cut affects her, is going to have to be by 1st-round knockout. So if I'm picking Larissa Pacheco, it's got to be by 1st-round KO, and God knows I'm not picking Julia Budd here. So give me Larissa Pacheco to win the main event by 1st-round knockout if she makes it to that card. So folks, thank you for watching. Make sure to hit that subscribe button down below for more PFL here on the channel. We'll have next week's PFL card with the main event being Olivier Aubin-Mercier and Shane Burgos. What a fight in the PFL's lightweight division. So folks, thank you for watching, and Mamba forever.